Hello and welcome to episode 164 of Topicopedia, the podcast that answers life's big questions like who left the spoon in the sink, why is there glitter in my pants, and what in the name of MI6 is going on in that bathtub.
Yes, it's the podcast equivalent of that moment you realise your autocorrect just changed no worries to nipple worries. Totally unexpected, slightly awkward, but totally worth sticking around for.
I'm Steve, the man, the myth, the minor Twitter scandal, and joining me, as always, is Nicole, the queen of sass, sarcasm, and suspicious search history.
That was for research. We've talked about this. As always, we'll be reading out your feedback. Then we're joined by a very special guest, the man, the myth, the inventor of No Likey, No Lighty, Bill Bricks, aka Les Keane, comedian, TV wizard, and living proof that mischief ages like wine.
Trust you to mention wine.
It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, Steve. And we're diving headfirst into this week's unsolved mystery, a proper brain bender involving espionage, a locked bag, and a very suspicious bathroom. You'll want to hear this one with the lights on.
We've also got our usual nonsense, Urban Dictionary word of the week, meme of the week, and of course, jokes of the week, which are officially banned in 5 countries and under investigation in a couple.
Oh, and if you hear rustling in the background, don't panic. That's just Uncle Jerry rooting around through the recycling in his leopard print Y-France and trench coat combo, muttering something about reinventing seduction.
He said he's doing undercover work. I said, yes, mate, very undercover, ideally in a locked shed miles away.
So grab a cuppa, lower your standards, and get ready for another wild ride through the weird, the wonderful, and the wait, what? World of Topicopedia.
Let's go.
So, how's your week been?
Yeah, it's been horrendous actually.
Oh no, why?
Yeah, I mean, let alone the fact that I've seen so many people have beautiful weather. I have not had any of it.
What?
Yeah, it's been rubbish here. Absolutely naff.
Oh, we've got beautiful sunshine. Is it still naff now?
It's a little bit better today.
Okay, that's good.
But
glorious here.
I know. And the ridiculous thing is, half the country's like starting to have hosepipe bans, and I'm here thinking it's rained every day. What's going on? Like,
I'm surprised you haven't got a hosepipe ban anyway.
Soon enough. That's what they keep sending emails out. Our reservoirs are lower than we expect at this time of year.
What, summer?
Yeah. Yeah. Building too many houses and not more reservoirs, that's your issue.
Well,
your demand has outstripped capacity.
Could they not just dig it a little bit deeper each time they build a house?
And so if they want to take my advice and dig it deeper so they have more capacity, they are welcome to pay me for that idea, and they can have that.
I think so. They should. You should get free water then.
Yeah, and the rest. How much? Yeah. Everyone's water bill's gone up, and how much of a bonus does the boss get?
Well, let's not talk about that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Just depressing, isn't it? Yeah.
I did a disaster of a day on, I think it was Thursday. In fact, it started Wednesday night because I went up to the bathroom. I didn't bother putting any lights on because I had no other way around my house without putting lights on. And
good to know.
Yeah. And then I kind of went to put a light on because I think I went to trip over something or whatnot. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll put light on, see what's going on. It didn't come on. I was like, oh, okay. So trip downstairs and see it's tripped off. So turn it back on. So, yeah, that's a bit of an inconvenience.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty bloody annoying.
Then the next morning started as exactly how you would expect. I woke up. I just knew it was wrong from the get-go because I got in the shower. The shower was cold.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the gas boiler didn't kick in because obviously it's used electric as well as gas.
No, you don't just have an electric shower.
No. It's a gas boiler, but it still runs off electric as well.
Yeah, we've got a gas boiler, but our shower is just an electric shower.
All right, no, I went the whole hog and went with a nice one. It got a bit more power to it than an electric one. It's nice. Yeah. So I had my cold shower.
Oh no!
Traipsed downstairs, walked in the living room, realised that my DAC board's off. oh crap, power's gone again. So went, turned the power back on, right?
How funny.
Brilliant. So logged on to start work, and then I can't get on the internet.
No. Oh, you know, civilization is beginning to fall when your internet doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or at least it feels like it, doesn't it?
Definitely. And so I restarted the router. I tried putting in the username and password on the router again, restarting it over and over. I was like, this is just having none of it. So I had to tether my phone, and I don't know how much data I have or anything. So like, okay, I'll tether it for now. And then after faffing about for ages, I realized that the login, even though I'm with a company called OneStream, the login, the username that you use has Vodafone in it.
Oh, okay.
So the OneStream website doesn't have anything about like network status or anything. So I went and tried the Vodafone website, and that said there's issues in my postcode with Openreach.
Oh.
So then I went to OneStream, so spoke to them, and they like confirmed that they're having issues in my area. It's like, brilliant, no internet, and no idea when it's going to come back on. Right?
Okay.
Gets to 10 o'clock, and I get a text. Who's the text from?
Go on.
Electricity Northwest.
Oh, God.
We need to turn off your power between 10:30 and 12:30. At this point, I thought, you just cannot make this up. So I sent that text to my boss. I was like...
You're literally living in the dark ages.
Yeah, no internet, no electricity.
What did you do for that 2 hours?
Well, the Mac's got a decent battery on it. I'll give it that. It lasted. And then obviously 10:30 comes, power goes out. So I sat there thinking, for some reason your mobile network seems to go really weak as well. So I don't know if that's on the same circuit and it's like backup power or whatever.
Oh, I wonder.
But yeah, it went really, really slow and laggy. So like, right, just what I needed. What time did it come on?
Go on. So it was meant to come on at 12:30.
Yes, I finished work at 3 o'clock. What time do you think it came on?
10 to 3.
3 o'clock. Boom.
Oh, that's not too bad then. So it wasn't all doom and gloom.
No, but obviously I'm still expected to make up the stats and stuff. You know.
Okay.
So it was a frustrating day, to say the least.
God, I'd be complaining to your electricity people about loss of earnings.
Yeah. Thankfully, it didn't impact my earnings, but yeah, it was highly frustrating, and it makes you realise how much you need mobile phone signal and internet these days.
I know, and do you know, it's actually really weird that this has happened to you just now, because last weekend, my power kept going, but not all of the power, just the sockets. So it really freaked me out. My housemate was about to go to work. I was like, please don't go and leave me with this. Please don't. I'm like so frightened that something's going to catch fire. But we kept turning it back on and it just kept tripping the switch out again. And we're like, oh no. So we're like, right, we're just going to have to go room by room and try and isolate what's causing it.
Yeah.
And we decided to start in the kitchen because, I mean, that's where your biggest appliances are, aren't they?
True.
So we turned everything off in the kitchen and flipped the power back on, and it stayed on for 10 minutes. So we thought, right, this is suggesting that it might have been a problem in the kitchen. Yeah. And we turned on each power socket set one by one to see what was doing it. And the big red switch for the oven tripped it straight away.
Oh, oven problems.
Right, yeah. So... okay, ideal. At least we know what it is. We can turn that off and we can live without it. That's fine. I felt a lot better. But of course, during this time when we weren't having any Wi-Fi, because obviously the router switched off. So unfortunately, I couldn't get hold of anyone. He couldn't ring work. He had to actually go outside and go up the road because our house is a black spot for signal. So we actually, you know, if you were to give me a call now, it would connect and sound glorious because I have Wi-Fi calling on my phone, and so does my housemate. So we don't realise how much we really rely on it until we don't have it. It was absolutely terrifying for a minute. But also, we decided to just double check to make sure it definitely was the cooker. So we powered, all the sockets back on with the oven switched off for a minute, and we let it all we gave it 10 minutes to let it all pull as much power as it needed to pull. And then we flipped it and it stayed on. And it is possibly, we should have used it for this week's Unsolved Mystery, because to this day, Steve, we do not know what was tripping that switch, because it has been fine ever since.
How bizarre.
Yeah, my housemate only lost an hour of work, which isn't too bad. So, anyway, how funny though. Yes.
One more quick little win this week. Well, in fact, it was a disappointment at first, right? So treated myself to Mackey's one night. And, we got 20 nuggies. Oh. And I ordered, because I was looking forward to it, after a couple of drinks on date night, some chicken selects.
Oh,
and I went for the share box of 9 selects, because I thought, with them, you can, bang them in a wrap and stuff like that.
Yes.
Got wraps in.
Yeah.
I got home, and, for a start, it was a disaster because the drive-thru was shut, so I had to go in and get it.
What?
Yeah, drive-thru was closed. I actually had to leave my car and go and get it. And then they put it on a tray and was like, can I have it in a bag? And I didn't notice, and the girl packing it didn't notice, but one of my 9 selects was actually another 20 nuggies.
Oh.
So when I got home, I was highly disappointed.
No.
But I realised you can now contact McDonald's through their website.
Okay.
And you're basically talking to a bot. But you tell the bot what was missing and what you got. And then it's like, we'll send this through to a support agent for you. Anyway, the next day I wake up and I've got probably another automated email from a support agent saying, I understand you were disappointed. We can't have you missing out on your selects. Here's a £10 voucher if you want it. If you're happy to accept. Yeah. So I accepted that. And I thought, this, you're going to have to go in and use this voucher and whatnot. Anyway, I tried it in the app, adding it as a coupon, and it works. So I actually got customer service gesture £10 coupon in my McDonald's app right now.
I'm going to remember that, because it's not uncommon for McDonald's to F up.
No, exactly.
And so if they're going to be handing out vouchers to that sort of value, I will absolutely be writing a not too strongly worded email.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There you go. It's another Topicopedia tip.
Topicopedia tip of the week. I love that. Just a tip from us. That's brilliant.
So, have we got any feedback this week?
We do. We do have some feedback this week. Yeah. Not all of it's from Andy. Amazing. So we're going to start with Andy, who said that Glastonbury is absolutely huge. I saw a map of how big it is, and I honestly can't believe how hard walking back and finding your tent whilst absolutely trash would be. Though I dread to think of how much it would cost for a pint.
Oh, yeah.
Don't think about things like that. He goes on to say, which only in England, and I think maybe Australia, can you say that? And it makes sense grammatically. I know best not to meddle with mysteries like that one, mainly as I don't want to disappear. So was a little surprised Nicole didn't know about cicadas, as they often in the background in anime. They're kind of like crickets, as they're quite noisy. Well, you'd think I'd understand things about crickets. I've got a pot of crickets downstairs. But no, I didn't know what they were. Soz. He says the internet rules, the first and second rule being like Fight Club, is semi-amusing for those in the know, but surprised that 11 wasn't a Spinal Tap reference, as these go up to 11 was such a big thing, and still kind of is.
Oh, there you go. They missed the trick.
They missed a trick. Talking about the Banhammer, there's a video where YouTuber Tom Scott and his friend worked with Nerdcube to create a VR Banhammer.
All right.
There you go. That's really cool. Yeah.
Going back to the Glastonbury Pints, by the way, I found a post from the Anti-Clickbait Society.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah. They posted pints vary from £6.95 to £7.20, doubles up to £13.90, and a bottle of wine for £32, despite retailing under a tenner. I suppose for a pint, that's typical London prices, like
Yeah.
£6.95, £7.20. So, but chips, £14.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
and
a
if
bit
you're
much.
there for the duration,
Burger, £10 to £15. No, bit too much.
take a barbecue.
Take a Barbie.
Take a Barbie. I've also got some feedback from Anonymous,
Okay.
which Anonymous. They said, okay, the story about the man with no name on Somerton Beach was wild. That note hidden in the secret compartment, so mysterious. You guys made it super easy to follow, but kept it really interesting. Honestly, it's the kind of weird mystery that sticks in your head for days. Can't wait to hear the next one. Well, you won't have to wait much longer because we have a brilliant mystery lined up for you later on.
Exciting. So I suppose we best take a look at what's been in the news this week.
Oh, I'm ready. You know me. This is my one opportunity to poke my head out from under the rock.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tell me what's going on in the world.
Okay, in Australia, Melbourne specifically, an Australian domestic flight was delayed for 2 hours. Why was it delayed?
Was there a big black dildo stuck to the roof of the cabin?
No, that wouldn't delay by 2 hours. Unless
It depends on the size of the dildo. Have you ever stuck one to your forehead? They're really hard to get back off again.
Funnily enough, no, I never have. Have you?
Yes.
Okay. Fair dues.
It bruised as well.
Oh, dear.
Massive circular hickey on my forehead, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, well, in similar style, it was a snake. There was a snake on a plane.
What kind of snake? What was it?
This is right up your street, isn't it? It turned out to be a harmless 60-centimetre green tree snake.
Oh, cute.
But Pelly said he thought it could be venomous when he approached it in the darkened hold.
Yeah, some of them do look a bit venomous, those types. Yeah, I would have been cautious too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially in Australia where, like, pretty much everything tries to kill you.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So, yeah, well done on that guy for...
How did the snake even get on there? That was kind of impressive, isn't it?
Possibly with the cargo, I'm guessing.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. It's found in the hold. So presumably it...
in the hold. Yeah, it must have. Oh, I wonder if someone was trying to smuggle that out or in...
Oh, maybe.
Because people do try and do stuff like that.
Yeah, be gutted when your parcel arrives and it's an empty box.
Oh, I don't know, but I mean, what I mean is more like people will go on holiday, buy a reptile, and rather than pay the import and the shipping, which is astronomical, pack it in their suitcase and ferry it home and hope that nobody notices. Yeah. So in all likelihood, because snakes are escape artists, it got out of its tub or bag, which they do, it's not uncommon, and easily found its way out of the suitcase. And it's just, that's more likely what has happened.
Yeah, it is. Right.
Naughty. Don't do that. Don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. That is not. Just pay the tax. Just pay the fees. Pay the shipping. Do it safely. That is not safe. It's not animal cool. Just don't do it.
Let's stick with Australia for this other story that I spotted. I hadn't heard anything about it until this, but this happened in July 2023.
Okay.
An Australian woman has now been found guilty of murdering 3 people. And it all started with a beef Wellington stuffed with deadly mushrooms. Erin Patterson, aged 49, invited her ex-husband's parents and aunt and uncle over for lunch, but she secretly added death cap mushrooms, one of the world's deadliest fungi, into the meal. And after eating, all 4 guests became seriously ill. 3 of them later died. They were former in-laws, Gail and Don Patterson, and family friend Heather Wilkinson. Heather's husband, Ian Wilkinson, was the only one who survived, but only after needing a liver transplant.
Good God.
So the court decided that Erin knew exactly what she was doing, even though she claimed that she never meant to hurt anyone. The jury just didn't buy it and found her guilty of murder and attempted murder. She'd originally told...
It's not slick, is it? I mean, that is your ex's family. It just doesn't look good for you. No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
She's originally told them she bought the mushroom from an Asian grocery store and scraped them off the meal before serving it. But let's be real, The story didn't add up.
Well, no, why would you scrape it off if you thought it was fine?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very bizarre. But yeah.
And how come she was fine? Is she a vegetarian?
No, apparently she used a different colour plate. She ate from a different colour plate.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, at the time, that must have been a very weird meal because, like, you've all got matching plates and she's got a different colour plate.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
So with the fact she had a different colour plate, making sure that she didn't touch it, she knew full well what she was doing.
Yeah, she knew exactly what she was doing. How did she think she was going to get away with that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guests ate their meals off 4 large grey dinner plates, while Patterson ate from a smaller tan-coloured plate, the court heard.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, I don't know what the motive was.
Just, I don't know. Maybe they had something to do with her breakup. Maybe she didn't want to break up with him. Maybe she didn't want to be an ex. Maybe the family were meddling.
Yeah. She was in the middle of a rocky separation from her husband. No wonder her husband wanted to leave her if she's capable of doing stuff like this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You're well shot of her.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Okay, let's end on something lighter. This is another one
Please.
that the Anti-Clickbait Society fished out for me.
Yes.
And it's another one of them really tacky, terrible Lab Bible pages that's posted.
Okay. Yeah.
It says, man
Our
said...
favourite reputable news outlet. Yeah.
Yeah. Just wait till you get to the end of this. If you've not seen this article, right? Man spends 17 hours in world's biggest Weatherspoons and is left stunned by the final bill.
I have seen the article, but I haven't read it.
Have you not?
I did see the headline, though. Yeah.
A man spent 17 hours at the Royal Victoria Pavilion in Ramsgate, the biggest Weatherspoons in the world, and managed to eat and drink all day for just £41.44.
What?
Sounds like a right bargain, doesn't it?
How's he managed that?
Well, I shall tell you. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
He had 3 pints of Ruddles at $1.79 each, a large breakfast for $6.56.
Yeah.
Wiltshire cured ham, eggs and chips for $6.87.
Yeah.
And a gourmet barbecue burger with a Pepsi Max for £10.62.
Very good.
He also treated himself to a cocktail for £7.05 and ended the night with a whiskey and soda for £4.97.
Oh, he wasn't literally sat there pint after pint all day then. I mean, it does make it sound, doesn't it?
I know. It sounded like, oh, yeah, he's less stunned by the final
party.
But in 17 hours, he had 5 alcoholic drinks.
And 3 meals.
Yeah. Ironically, the Anti-Clickbait Society points out it probably took him an hour each time to get to the toilet.
Oh, my God. It must have been like a rat maze trying to get to the toilet in the largest Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's probably in a different country at that point.
Oh, yeah. It's probably underground, all the way to China.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't go to that woman's kitchen in Australia, and as long as the beef Wellington's not coming from there, then you're going to be all right, aren't you?
Yeah. Or in the case that is going to be now, her prison cell. And this is the part of the show we've been really looking forward to, actually. I would like to invite someone on the show who is basically a legend behind one of the favourite social media accounts that I follow. And his name is Bill Bricks.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard so much about this, actually, from you, Steve. I've heard you've talked a lot about this.
I have, yeah. Bill Bricks is a fictional character.
No, what?
What? You're not fictional? Sorry, I'll... You know what? Introduce yourself. Go on. What would you describe Bill Bricks as being?
Well, Bill Bricks is a fake character. He's an illusion. That's very true. He's 2 people. He was. He's a play on the comedian Bill Hicks, which I'm sure gets lost in the depths of time. But that's meant to be. But nobody's ever got it, I'm sure. But it's meant to be Bill Hicks, rather.
I'm sorry, it went over my head, but I just love it. The fact it's a Lego character. With holding a ciggy and a pie and doing stand-up comedy.
Well, yeah, that's that conceit of him is all down to Mr. French.
Excellent.
The look of it. I'm the words. He's the visuals.
Okay, let me just play a clip of Bill Bricks. Of this one really this made me laugh out loud. Let me play this one for anyone who's not heard of Bill Bricks before.
I'm an only child, and let's be honest, if you gave birth to a square child, you'd probably stop having kids as well, wouldn't you? I was actually orphaned at a young age. Tragically, my mum died when she was eaten by the dog. I only take solace in the fact that it was the most painful shit that dog ever had. It was literally shitting bricks.
Yeah, it's good. I think we should probably say that Bill Bricks is a tiny Lego stand-up character, the only Lego stand-up character in the world, and totally unlicensed as well. So fuck you, Lego. Can we swear on this podcast?
Yes, go for it. We don't mind.
But I'll give you a potted history to this because Jem, I can't remember when we first started doing this, but because we did it for YouTube years ago, didn't we?
It was about 2012, I think.
Was it that long ago? Okay, so the backstory to it is I sort of thought about it on the tube, and I live in London. If it was Rotherham and I've thought about the tube, that would be weird.
Yeah.
So I and basically my background is the stand-up comedian, then been working behind the scenes in TV for 25 years in comedy. And I, for many years, less so towards the end, the last half of my career, but I might sound like I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm doing my own obituary. And but basically, did topical writing on. Well, I mean, I can't, like literally everything that's been on British television I've been on, but when you write monologues and topical jokes, it's just basically a joke monkey. And, you'd write 80 jokes a day, and all for just a pittance.
Yeah.
Not true. All for a lot of money, and
yeah, but then no one knows who you are behind it.
But that's fine. But what I'm saying is it's not one of those jobs where you can go, I've been working hard today. You've been rustling papers, because at the end of the day, they want to see the jokes, right?
Yeah.
So I'd write. So I've always said that a bigger comedy writer is basically 98% wastage. So 2% of what you write will make the screen, and on a lot of shows. It may never be like on a panel show where you work with comedians and stuff. Basically, you provide a safety net for them so they can actually engage with the show because they know they've got jokes in their back pocket. So I always used to think if they don't use anything you sort of come up with, then that's good because that means that they've been because the funniest stuff happens on the floor. But it isn't if you're going on. But if you're going to war without any ammunition, right? Then you can't concentrate on what's going on, and that's how it works. That's why. That's what happens. I mean, people go to me, what if there's writers on TV shows? Well, of course there is. That's what's called production. It'll be fuck. Telly would be shit if you just went, let's just wing it, shall we? It'd be crap. It'd be absolute garbage. And trust me. So there was all this wastage of all this material because obviously it's topical. It's it's only funny for a couple of days and then it's gone until the next year. So every year you'd write jokes about Glastonbury and then it'd come round again. You'd write jokes about Glastonbury again. If I were you, I'd check out the ones from last year because they're better than the crap I'm writing now. But you're going to pay me twice and the third time and the fourth. That's fine. But and so it was a way of being able to got all this stuff going. How do we get it out there? And I just thought it'd be funny if we could do and I don't know why. I don't know why it's 2012. But my son, who's 20, nearly 21. He was obsessed with Lego. We've got several £1,000s worth of Lego in the house because every Christmas, every birthday, and it's very expensive stuff.
Well, these days you even get adults that collect Lego and
it's huge. Like Lego Masters, who my mate Melvin O'Doom presents. It's absolutely huge. And I mean, bearing in mind Lego. Nearly went under. It was the number one toy for so many years, but it used to just be bricks and windows and a door. It was you had to build with bricks. It's all whoever came up with the concept of licensing it. With movies like Harry Potter and stuff like that, it was a genius because that's what's driven it all. And of course, it's although it is apparently responsible for a lot of the what's it called, the plastics in in the
Microplastics.
microplastics. It's responsible, but a lot of it comes from Lego.
No.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Lego's going to kill us all. It's going to take over the world. In fact, you'll have to remind me of this, Jem. I can't remember but it's sort of like 5 a week. You consume something like 5 grams of microplastics, most of which is Lego. So you consume half a Lego character every week.
You mean to tell me that stepping on a Lego is the least of my issues with Lego?
Well, that is most definitely the most. I would. The only thing worse than stepping on Lego is an upturned plug.
Yeah, I was going to say upturned plugs.
Yeah.
So imagine this: a Lego plug. Now, come on, that could kill you. So it was a way of being able to, have this material go somewhere. Because it didn't annoy me that it never went anywhere, but it was like...
It is a waste, really, isn't it?
Well, totally. Honestly, 98% wastage is not... is like pretty much a true statistic, I would try to say. In the same way as being a stand-up comedian, generally, it's just about being 2 seconds faster than everybody else. That's all it is. It's like any game, isn't it? It's margins, really. And so Huckabee, sort of thought about the idea of a Lego stand-up character. Because I thought, that could be quite funny. It's like well known. But then the question was, when I spoke to Jem, who I've known for 40 years, Jem, more, something like that. Sort of like 40 years. But Jem is like much more on sort of the world of editing and stuff like that. It was a question of how do we post-production. There you go. That's how much sound it. Yeah. So he's a genius at that. So obviously the idea is quite simple in a way, topical jokes, that's fine. But the question was, how do we animate it quickly? Because I knew that would be the time consuming. But I've worked in TV for 25 years in every form of type of show. So I know how difficult these things are. But the genius was, and I'm going to pass it over to Mr. French here, because he will tell you how we went. Because although it looks like there's a lot of animation movement, it's a kind of a trick, isn't it, Jem?
Not really a trick. It's just...
It was the animation. It was the mouth and the eyes, wasn't it?
I'd sort of done a big animation of my own, which Les had seen. It was about Walsall, the town of Walsall, and what it had become, and it was quite complicated animation. I don't do it. Animation's not my job. Basically, I worked abroad for 7 years, and when I came back, I couldn't find a job, and I was unemployed for about a year. I was living with my parents again. And I thought, well, I better learn something to keep a hand in. So I started to do this animation about the town of Walsall, which had changed massively since I'd been away. Like all the shops had closed, and it got, like when you've been away for that long, you come back.
Yeah. And
it's like it was like a wasteland. Like all the shops had closed down. It was all charity shops and betting shops, and
that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
it does.
Well, it's quite a change as well, wasn't it, Jem? Because you've been working in Beirut for 7 years.
I've been in Beirut for 7 years. You come back to Warsaw, and it's it's like a wasteland.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that. But it took me a while to realise it wasn't just Warsaw. It was the whole country. But anyway, I was showing this animation to people, and Les had seen it, so he knew I could do animation.
Yeah, you reminded me now. That's why.
He had this idea, and he asked me what was possible. And I used a program called After Effects, which is like it's high end. You can do high end animation on it basically, but it's not as complicated as you think. If you kind of all my career, I've been learning new learning new software, learning how to do stuff. So I sort of mastered it, and then Les asked what was possible, and I sort of came up. We sort of did lots of back and forth, didn't we?
We did.
But really, to animate a mouth is actually quite easy. It's not as hard as you think. It's just a plug-in, basically.
Yeah, well, it's easy now, isn't it? Back in the old days, it would have been, moving a mouth might not have been so easy.
It is faster now. It is easier now, true, but it does take a huge amount of time. And basically, you'd record something on a Friday, you'd give it to me on a Saturday morning, and I would spend 2 days animating it for 3.5 minutes.
Ooh.
Les is lucky in that I'd got no life at the time, basically. And I was working full time at this point as well. I'd got a job in the meantime, and I was working 5 days a week. But he'd give it to me on but I had nothing to do at the weekends. So, Saturday and Sunday I do Bill Briggs. We did about 12, I think.
Yeah, so because
we did it every week.
Yeah, we put it out on YouTube at the time. So this is 12 years ago. And so as I say, like the mouth moving. So the software was such that basically whatever I said, the mouth would move.
Yeah.
With it,
nice.
It wasn't. Back in the day, if you were back in Disney time, you were doing stop motion, basically like thousands of gels of moving it. So that was a big thing. And generally, like if we just moved the head occasionally and the eyes blinked, it looked like it was being animated. But
it's those little touches that sort of bring it to life. The blinks are one of the most important things, I think, because they really do bring it to life.
Yeah,
and he looks left, right, left, centre, and right as well. But it's still a pretty basic animation. It does take a very long time. But also, it's not just the animation; it's also what took half the time was to do the not the photographs, but the montages of the pictures that sort of back up the comedy.
Yeah,
like that clip of the dog shitting a Lego character out. I would just do a composite picture of a dog shitting out a Lego character. And that would take, maybe 10, 20 minutes to do, and there might be in the last one we did, because we've started it again. The last one, there were 50 photographs in it.
Wow. What's the price? Was there? Yeah, we sort of learned at the because obviously it was, I think I started on TikTok 18 months ago and Instagram about, just over a year ago, actually, because as I was a former stand-up, but I've gone back to stand-up maybe 18 months ago. And doing it in a different way, because obviously I've been behind the scenes. I mean, I've written for everybody on British television. I know everybody. I was a stand-up from like 1990. I was a Hackney Empire New Act of the Year finalist in 1993. And wow. I don't know where the other people are. Ronnie Ancona, Ben Miller. I don't think they're very big these days, are they? Tim Vine. I think all these people have good business. No, these are the other people I was on with. And the I've lost the train of thought here, but it was just a way of getting material out there, really, and doing it, but and using the pictures and everything, because obviously on topical shows I used to do a show called the Friday Night Project and the Sunday Night Project. So that was the first thing that Alan Carr did, along with Justin Lee Collins, who's now Justin Lee Collins was the big star on that. It was Alan's first gig. Justin Lee Collins. Wow. Somehow managed to. I've worked with quite a lot of people that are now in prison or have been done for sex offence. But he wasn't. I mean, that's no. Anyway, I can say he's a lovely man. But I've worked with a lot of. I've worked with everybody in British television, so I'm bound to pick up some of the bad ones. And But it was a way of again, I was writing topical jokes and things like the picture. Sorry, the reason I talk about Friday Night Project, Sunday Night Project, we'd have celebrity guests in. And even on things like V. Graham Norton and stuff like Graham's monologue, really, we'd use pictures as punchlines, because if you've got talent that's coming in and they can't deliver a joke, they just do a setup and the picture does the work.
Well, the whole in America they do that with the late night shows. They do that, don't they? It's quite a common thing, I think. Yeah, to have a little photo, and you have like. Your newsreader sitting in the middle, then he's got a little TV window on the left or right hand side. So we're basically copying that, I guess. Yeah,
that's something that's never really taken off here, is it? Like a late night TV show kind of.
Not at all.
We tried. Well, we've tried it because I've worked on them all, but it's economies of scale. Well, in fact, the last version of it was was Tonightly on ITV, which replaced the news. So which was quite successful. But the problem is, like in America, those late night TV shows, right? The reason America doesn't, they don't have panel shows or anything like that. Right, because they can deliver the same kind of, because a panel show works like this. It doesn't matter what the subject matter is. It's an irrelevance, right? It's not about the subject matter. It's about the chemistry between the host and the two guests.
Yeah.
That's how they work. If you think of something like, Would I Lie to You, right? The first two series was actually Angus Dayton. It wasn't Rob Brydon.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And then it's Lee Mack and David Mitchell, both of them I know, and but they didn't know each other. That was just by chance that sort of worked. As the alchemy of, because I remember doing the pilot of this thinking, this is just fucking call my bluff. Just what crap. I'll tell you one thing's guaranteed. I am a great. I can spot a dud a mile away.
Yeah.
What you should do, if you want to follow me, like if anything I think is not going to work, right, you can guarantee it'll work. Like, because I did 10 years of Celebrity Juice, for instance. First part, this isn't going to work. Did a pilot with Brucey of Strictly Come Dancing. No, this isn't going to work. What do I know? Nothing.
I was going to say with Celebrity Juice, how much of that is scripted then? Is it more than people would think?
No. I mean, Lee. No, because Lee's a fucking genius, really. Yeah. I mean, okay, so like any of these things, you need the secret to any show or any panel show is about setting something up that can deliver comedy. Right. Yeah. Now, commissioners will be cracking. What's happened there? Who says? I don't know what they're going to say, but what I've done is it's set up so anybody with comedy chops have got something to play with. That's how you do it. Because if you deliver an item that's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, well, that's it. You can't add to that.
Yeah.
You can't add icing on the top because it's got a full stop. So what you have to do is rely on the talent that you've booked. And you're going, well, there's a reason why these people are there at the top of their game and that you want to book them is because they're very good at what they do. Yeah. But you have to create the foundation that will deliver comedy, right?
Yeah.
So someone like Celebrity Juice, yes, it was written, but then also somebody would be on his earpiece and everything. And I remember going to really with Celebrity Juice very early doors, like. Well, it was my suggestion, but was that we need a regular. We had 2 regular team captains in Holly and Fern.
Yeah.
But they're not funny by now. So I said we need a regular person. If nothing else, it means trying to book 4 stand-up comedians where you're really stooges because it was a bit like Shooting Stars.
Yeah.
We need a regular, so originally we had Rufus Hound and everything, but at least it's one less to book. And really, it was Rufus that was trying to keep the order of it and the housekeeping, as we would call it, because Lee would just go off he wouldn't know what there was going on half the time. but that was fine, because that wasn't, that wasn't what he was good at. But that's a very anti way of doing it, because the host normally is there to keep everything going wrong. Like Angus Deaton, for instance, when he did, when Angus did, Have I Got News for You, when he used to host that before, again, he started sleeping with prostitutes and taking drugs, which was, what he did now wouldn't even cause a blip, I would have thought, but he on the auto cue, he would have, depending on sort of the intonation of each bit, different colour. Normally auto cue is just like black against, it's just white text on black, right? Yeah. But he would have different colours for different delivery styles on it. That's how methodical he was with.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to keep up with what colour you to which, to be honest.
No. Well, no, he did. So he did that, and I know that I'll give you an auto cue trick that with people reading auto cue is they think, what if it's going too fast? Yeah, the auto cue is operated by somebody. They go to your speed. So if you get faster as you're talking, then the auto cue will start getting faster. You'll start talking faster and get faster. That's like that. Whereas if you speak slowly, the words aren't going to start suddenly going past.
Yeah,
he's operating it, but people panic, and that's what happens, right? But so all shows, all panel shows have got that. Yeah, of course, they go in there with items and words that are going to work. But when you get in the edit, right, every show's made in the edit. You hope that other things will supersede it. But if we go back to like American things and photos and stuff like that, and American style shows, which is this in America, those things like Kimmel, Fallon, all of those things, they actually get a very, very small percentage of the viewing at the time that they're on. But because America's a massive country, they might only get 1 million. But that's out of, however, I don't know how many people live in America, 250 million, is it, or something?
Or like 300, I think.
Is it? It might be slightly less now. Trump's in power, but so you can do it, but the economies of scale just don't work in this country. We tried. I did my first writing job when I was a stand-up, and in the year 2000, One to Watch, Flawless Gags. We'd have to work pretty hard because I stopped doing it because I fell into writing by accident. I didn't even know it was a job, but on a show called The 11 O'Clock Show, which, was Ali G and Ricky Gervais and all that came out of. Yeah. And we did that 3 days a week for 33 weeks a year. And, there's a massive turnover, but it was a machine. I reckon I reckon 90% of people that work in British comedy these days come from that show, like either as producers, writers, performers. We all came from that. A few from Big Breakfast, because that was a similar kind of turnover.
Yeah.
But, and it was on for 3 years. And I'd never written before. I'd written on that show, and then, well, in fact, I was faxing jokes in, because they asked certain people you could fax jokes in. 3 on the first day, 5 on the second day. By the end of the second week, they said, "Come and work on the show; it'd be cheaper." That's the truth, and that's the truth of the matter. By the second series, the second series proper. Sorry, my phone. By the second series, I was deputy scripts editor, right? A lot, and I was a lot older than everybody else, because everybody else was from Oxford and Cambridge. They sort of knew the way in. I'm not saying they weren't good writers, but they knew the way in,
Yeah.
I'm slightly going off on a tangent here. I don't know, but yeah. So it's just unaffordable to do those things. But the picture joke is it's interesting. A picture joke. It's like so I know we used to work on let's say the Sunday Night Project, the Friday Night Project. It changed its name several times, but we get talent coming in, and so the monologue would be written where the pictures were the punchlines. Very much like the Graham Norton show. Like, I started on Graham Norton and stuff, but and Graham can deliver a gag anyway. I think it was over-reliant for it myself. The job really back then was we would just literally go through thousands and thousands of photos and then back engineer the joke. And because you suddenly go, we'll get researchers to do that. That's not a good use of your time. Going, well, no, because they won't. A researcher will look for a funny picture, and as a writer, you go, oh, that picture can be funny as a punchline. The picture in itself will not be funny. In fact, it could be very, very boring.
Yeah.
But that will be but an example I think might have even been used with Bill. But, and this, I suppose they could have searched this, but again, I don't know. Mick Jagger's out on tour again. He's 80 years old. He's still got what it takes to get the ladies up to the bedroom. Picture of a stair lift. Yeah. Right. Okay. Now, but sometimes you're going, oh, what I want to see is a picture like this, but you only know it when you see it.
Yeah, exactly.
So although people, producers used to hate paying us the money that we did, to just be looking at pictures going, well, if you're going to want a picture thing, this is the way to do it, because researchers are just going to find loads of funny pictures that are funny on their own. Yeah,
because Harry Hill did a lot of it as well, didn't he, with TV Burt, because he would he'd just find really mundane bits from like soaps as well.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about that, right? So because he sort of revitalised You've Been Framed, but and the reason to stop it was just too exhausting. So it was Harry and 2 or 3 other people. I probably can't remember the names. But anyway, you just literally have to sit and watch hours and hours of defocusing and looking in the background. Like say, I'll spot something funny in the back of EastEnders. Well, that's because somebody's watched with a comedy brain hours and hours of fucking. Yeah. You can't. There's no short. So it would take up 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
From Harry and the other writers, just looking at
behind the scenes,
and you can't get somebody else to do it. You need to, because they don't know what they're looking for. Do you know why? Exactly. Because we don't know what we're looking for. We just know it when we see it. You're panning for gold, right? Yeah. Yeah. And I'll get to this again. We don't understand how comedy. You can't, because it's instinctive. It's not. You can't learn it. I mean, you could learn it a bit, but you it's an instinctive skill.
You've either got it or you've not got it.
Yeah.
You could learn how to do a stand-up set. You could learn how to write jokes or whatever, but that isn't the same as having funny bones. No.
I agree.
It's just
you got to be able to deliver it.
Any comedian, just spot what's funny. Like, just it's totally instinctual. Because the most boring thing, that's rubbish. You go, no, there's some gold in there. How do you know? You go, well, I just know.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously, over years of experience, but it's just the same as somebody who's got perfect pitch, or they can. Do you know what I mean? They can hear music by ear and things like that.
Yeah.
You're born with it. You can't learn it. You could learn it to a certain level, but you would never. You can't go any. You couldn't get any further than that, because you need to. It's instinctive. And it's because it's spotting. It's spotting nuance. It's spotting those little things, because, and it's about being observant, really, and always look. And it's a true. I think Jerry Seinfeld said as well, but not that I'm saying I'm Jerry Seinfeld, but in my whole life, all the time, I am looking for a fucking joke everywhere I go. in every exchange I have with every human being, permanently, it's always going, is that a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a bit? Like, well, even me just coming off straight there going, with the flies, I haven't been preparing that. I'm just literally going, oh, that's fucking annoying. That's funny. But it's that.
See, I
It
think
obviously just comes very naturally to you. You're not even
he's just a funny guy.
Well, it always, but for me, like stand-up is just like going to a party, isn't it? You don't know anybody and you make them laugh. You haven't got any of that, what's called the kitchen sink comic, which is people that are funny in their gang and their group, but you've all got, you've all got common histories and the people and, so people doing something out of character and that can be funny. That's not the same as walking on stage when nobody knows who you are or anything, and they go, "Make me laugh, joke monkey,"
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
No.
And but then comedy comes in millions of forms. It's not. That's just stand up and everything. As animation. There's a million ways. And we're going back to Bill Bricks.
Yes.
With it, I come up with I call the papers for stuff and everything, and sometimes with Bill, because when we first started Bill, Jam, the jokes were very Lego, weren't they? They were more Lego centric, certainly the first couple. We tried to, but then realised that it's a finite resource. So now things have gone through. If there's a story, then again, sometimes it's just him delivering funny jokes. But if we can get something in there that's from his perspective, because he's quite grumpy and moody.
Yeah.
And like I say, it was Jem that added the cigarette and the beer and all of that.
Too hard. It wasn't too hard to come up with that concept, to be honest.
Well, no, but he might have had. He might have had a more. I don't know. It could have made him. He might have been Swedish, for instance. Let's put that. Because that's Lego, and that would have put it a completely different kind of character.
I mean, the beauty of it being a Lego character is if you want to find a Lego character doing anything, you can find a photograph on the internet, like for instance, of a Lego character having a shit. You could probably find somebody's already done it for you. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So like
the specialist websites.
There's one where Les made a joke about photocopying his arse at the Christmas party, and lo and behold, I found a photograph of a Lego character photographing his arse. You know what I mean? It's just out
Brilliant.
there. You'd be surprised what's out there.
Obviously, one of the jokes about knees, and I never actually thought.
We
don't have
come
knees.
to that quite a lot. We come to that joke quite a bit.
That picture about 4 times.
Yeah, but I think one of the funniest, because we do
knees up.
we do a month. Yeah, we cut your knees up. But we do a monthly variety show. So which is
because it's called Resurrected. So basically, we did about 12, didn't we? And then it was just too much work. And then it went to bed. Then we did a clip show, and then we did a New Year special. And then it went, we didn't touch it for over 10 years, I think. And then, like, you started to do this variety show.
Oh, that's why we started doing it again, isn't it? Yeah, fucking hell, I've completely forgotten that, yeah. And so this variety show, so it's got jugglers, we've got magicians and stuff, and I don't do my normal stand-up. And I've got a performing partner who's a street performer called Gareth Jones, who is amazing.
You should actually talk really about the way television's died,
Well, yeah, television is dead, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So we created this show. So what we created is, because I did 6 series of the Palladium, and I did the last sort of TV I did was the Royal Variety Show at the Albert Hall, because I'm like good mates with Bradley Walsh, and we made this big thing, and I went, how do we create a show like this but on a smaller scale, but with comedy in all its form, but not stand-up? But in fact, the only thing that is like stand-up is Bill Bricks, but we do it as a topical thing. And so everything in the show is 10 minutes long. We play stupid games.
It's like an ITV show. It
is, yeah. So by accident, I created a thing that's little bits, and it's got a running order, and sometimes we pull items. I just accidentally made a TV show that isn't going to go on TV because I don't want it to. So on our variety show, we do a 3.5 minute thing live, which is always exciting because we don't know where the jokes are or if any of it's funny whatsoever.
You see,
it's never been tested.
I was going to ask you, is there any jokes where you thought that's not that good, and then it's turned out to be just, really, really a winner? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know sometimes the things go, well, that's not brilliant, but there's certain things that go better. No, you can't tell. You can't.
No,
I mean,
you can't.
the truth is,
some you think are going to go good, they just don't. It's weird.
No, you can't. You can't. I mean, but I've got a reasonably. I mean, the thing about working in TV comedy for many years is that, like I'm doing my first hour for 30 years at Edinburgh this year, I've tested most things maybe once, and some of it's been tested out on social media. But the stuff you write when it goes out on TV has to work the first time. Yeah. So you become very good at knowing what's good. Yeah. So what a stand-up might do normally, where you work a bit of material in, it takes 4 or 5 times of the first time there's just nothing in it or whatever. I can go through those hoops and jump those hurdles in my head naturally, instinctively. Yeah. But that's because I've been doing this for a long time, and which is a massive advantage. So we sort of know, but like something like you with your knees, it just brilliant. But no, would I thought the word knees was going to be funny? No, because you got to like realise there's no knees. But so we did this thing. So Beckham getting knighted, and we went, oh yeah, he's been practicing. Romeo's been picking up Victoria and tapping David on each shoulder, like she was the sword kind of thing. So it's just she's thin, he's whatever. And then Bill goes, I'll never get knighted. I can't get down on one knee.
I did a opposite of Bill Briggs getting knighted, but he's just face down on the floor. With Charles touching him.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot goes on in those VTs, because a lot of the stuff. I mean, we do that every month. We have done for a year. That just that's it. That's the only time you'll get to see it. But I quite like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's always the anticipation of it, and like, because it's a huge amount of effort for the 3.5 minutes, but
it is a lot of effort.
But it is a staple part of the show because nobody else is doing it, right?
Well, I've got it down to 5 hours now. I can do an episode in 5 hours.
We've learned where the extra jokes are.
It doesn't take me 2 days anymore.
No, but we've learned where the extra jokes are as well, haven't we, Jem? And also, I do the words and everything like that, but then Jem has free reign to do whatever he wants to do with the animation, whatever else goes in.
Very little feedback.
Yeah, no. So that way, it's a joint endeavour. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just, I do obviously have a voice and everything, but I come up with the written joke type thing because that's what I can do. But then the rest of it is left to Jem to do it.
Yeah.
So the first time I see it really is when I see it. Pretty much. I mean, I might go, leave a bigger gap here or something like that. But
yeah.
But
you start to get a feel for it. Yeah.
Yeah, we both want to be invested in it. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of fucking effort. So
yeah,
it's always quite exciting when we play it, Jem, isn't it? Because there's no idea how it's going to go. I mean, it could go fucking terribly.
I'm not.
But did it predate the concept of Bill Briggs? Is what I'm thinking. I think maybe it did.
Yes.
I keep losing my internet connection. By the way,
we can hear it. It's going bong.
I have got some feedback because something we haven't touched on yet is referred to in this feedback for you. So let me play this for you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Uncle Jerry here. Now I've heard Les is coming on the show and I'm a big fan, so I had to leave some feedback. Whatever happened to Take Me Out anyway? I think there needs to be a revival, and I should be Bachelor number 1. I've prepared my VT introduction, which I wanted to share with you. It's a lights-on formula, because I'm a lights-on guy. Hello, ladies. I'm Jerry, 64 years young and twice divorced. But that just means I got experience and spare cutlery. By day, I manage a discount sofa warehouse. By night, I test them. I don't cook, but I do marinade. I don't dance, but I'll sway near you after 3 sherries. My hobbies include meat raffles, light stalking, and writing erotic poetry and Comic Sans. If you like a man who smells like Old Spice and danger, keeps a robe in his car just in case, and knows exactly how to undo a bra from across his room, then don't turn out that light, darling. Uncle Jerry's got his trench coat open and his heart ajar. So, Les, what I want to know is, where did no likey, no lighty come from?
Okay.
We
Right,
did
okay.
not like prepare you for that at all.
Sorry.
No, that's right. That was well written.
I wanted to
That was
throw him into it.
That was very, very well written. So the pilot of Take Me Out, right? Take Me Out. The pilot, I didn't work on the pilot, but but it was with. Did I? No, I don't think I did. Anyway, it was made by Channel 4. This is so many years ago, probably 15 years ago, and it was Channel 4 commissioned it. But at the time, they couldn't afford to make a show of that size, right? So they commissioned the pilot and then didn't commission the series because they couldn't afford. They were trying to play with the big boys, right? As I remember it. Anyway, so it went away, but because they had that pilot, they managed to sell it to other countries, right? And
Okay.
then it sort of came back, and it's still, even now, could still be sold, many years later as a format. Anyway, but I was involved when the series got made, and there's lots of different moving parts to it. It's a very hard show to make. It was a lot of fun. It ran for 10 years. We did 170 episodes, and we had to make each show. Well, if you imagine, like there's 30 women, right, like a hen do, plus all the extra women had to go in, and it wasn't like, when one person goes out, we just put another person in. If somebody blonde with a northern accent ever went, we might replace like for like. So we had like a big bench, right, the squad, and we had to keep everybody together. So we had to do it every single day.
Wow.
Right, so the guys were in one hotel, the hen party's in another because we couldn't let them get out because it'd be fucking carnage. The first series we did in Manchester in Granada Studios, and it was on its uppers then. I'll tell you how I know. The R was missing from Granada, so it was Granada.
Okay.
It'd fallen off.
Okay.
It was sad times when they took that sign down off that building.
And then we went to Maidstone. Again, this was like near when things were going wrong because the BBC studios weren't there, ITV studio. For the first 18 years of my working career, I only ever worked in town at BBC Studio or ITV. None of these, studios outside of town. Anyway, so... and then we'd have a third hotel for when the guys won and all of this stuff. And the corridor where all the makeup girls were and everything, we used to have to be repainted every series because there's so much fucking fake tan on the walls. No shit. Yeah. So we're on the floor and Paddy's just coming out. We're just running the lines. And we've got all these podiums with the lights going out and everything. And so Paddy's doing that, going, all right, so let's say this is the first line. So Paddy was just going around banging the lights off of different podiums, right? Nobody else in the studio. And I'm just on the floor because I always used to sort of write and produce on the floor because that's old school. Because all light entertainment shows, Shiny Floor Telly, was always produced on the floor because it was like you ran it like a live show. It's a flat on show with 4 peds. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to cut to.
Yeah,
there's nothing. That's why like a sitcom. It's flat on like a stage show.
Yeah.
And I just happened to be on the floor, and whenever I wrote anything for Paddy, I'd read it out loud because like if he said Ollie, it would come out Holly. If he said Holly, it would come out Ollie. Yeah. So I knew it. So it's a thing that a lot of writers don't do is they don't verbalise the words. You go, that's impossible to say. It looks good on paper. And anyway, so I used to read the scripts before the commissioners and stuff for a show in his voice to give it the flavour. Yeah. and I literally, he's banging the lights off, and I went, Pad, sir, no likey, no lighty. That was it. That was how much effort went into that. That much effort. Right? And if I'm at a party or anything and I'm going, what have you done? Oh, yeah, I work with David every day. Yeah, it's all right. My family, sitcom. Yeah, I've done nothing. I came up with no like, Maureen, come over here. Come on. This is the bloke that came up with no likey. Look, my daughter gets people from, university. Yeah. Putting so-and-so on the phone. Yes, I'm the person that came up with that phrase. Yes.
Okay, so this we came up with a bit of help from ChatGPT, but I think you'll appreciate it. This is about identifying if something is possibly a joke or not, and this is called punchline or porn.
Okay, I like it.
So
it's a classic.
It sounds like a variety boutique.
It sounds like the sort of game we play. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll read out a thing, and just if you and Jem want to guess whether it's a punchline or a porn, we'll see how you do.
Good, I like this.
Okay, first one's slippery when wet.
I'm going for punchline.
No, that's a porn title.
It's a porn, unfortunately, yeah. But I feel like this is a punchline somewhere, isn't it? Definitely.
I could probably work backwards from that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, round number 2. I said no pickles.
What do you reckon, Jem?
Yeah, I don't really know because I just got kicked off again.
All right. Round 2. That's all right. Round number 2. I said no pickles. Is it a porn or is it a punchline?
Well, it could be an old joke that is based around the dog Pickles who found the what was it, the missing World Cup. Remember it went and got stolen?
Yeah.
The dog called Pickles.
I don't remember
that.
Well, you won't because you're not as old as me, with the mind of a 90-year-old. I said no pickles. That sounds like a punchline joke. What do you think, Jem?
Yeah, it sounds like a punchline to me.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, that's correct. Punchline.
Do we get the joke though?
I'd love to give you the joke, but all I've got on my prep is a joke about a disastrous date at McDonald's, and that's all it says.
Well, it's right. I'm going to look this up later.
Please do. Please
I tell you what.
let us know.
Rule number 1 on my stand-up comedy workshop that I've just started is know the beginning of your joke.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't think we'd have time to go all the way through the jokes with you.
Oh no. That's good.
How about Grandma's Got a Gush?
Oh God! If it is a porn
that
thing,
sounds like a porn to me.
but if it is, oh my God, it probably is a porn thing, isn't it?
Really sick one.
Oh my God, who's into still horses for courses, isn't it?
It's real, unfortunately.
Is it a joke or a porn?
It's a porn. It's a porn.
Oh my goodness me!
Oh gosh. Okay, how about custard diplomacy?
Custard diplomacy.
Yes.
Oh, custard diplomacy.
Custard diplomacy.
I don't ever think of diplomacy ever being used in a porn film, to be honest with you.
Well,
But custard, though, is fighting against the word custard.
Yes, but
What? Like there's somebody from the custard marketing board. Custard marketing board, right? Who's the chief diplomacy expert on it for Ambrosia. I'm going to go with porn.
no, I'm going to go with catchphrase.
It is a punchline.
Oh, punchline,
Is it?
Sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Custard diplomacy.
So I was
Let's
right.
go.
That's intriguing. I don't know how they've managed to work that in. So I'm writing that down.
apparently it's a joke from about a pudding-based foreplay gone wrong.
Custard diplomacy. Yeah, but even but I love something that's got. I love words. And, they're both incongruous, aren't they?
Yeah.
Custard diplomacy. Unless it's some sort of dispute within the various layers of the trifle.
Yeah.
Like, got some sort of Palestine kind of issue going on here. Anyway,
Yeah.
How about this one? The Vicar's new extension.
well, I'm going with punchline there.
I don't know. A Vicar's egg.
Oh, man, if it's a 1970s Robin Asquith type soft porn, you can imagine.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a 1970s porn movie because nobody's going to involve a fucking vicar.
Yeah.
Yes, it exists. And it's British as well.
And it is a porn.
Yeah, it's a porn.
From what year? Did it say what year?
No.
No, I didn't fancy looking them all up.
I think you'd probably find the Vicar's extension is well, who knows?
It probably is
sound-
70s. I would assume.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it's
Carry on.
fairly that kind of Confessions of a Window Cleaner kind of style.
Yeah,
when people have pubes, basically.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. Well, I was probably. Do you want to know the Mull of Kintyre rule on television?
Go on.
What's that?
So if you look at a map of Scotland on the left hand side of the coast, on the west coast, as some of us call it, or the left hand side, as I call it, there's the Isle of Mull. Maybe it's to the side anyway, but there's the Isle of Mull, and it's a peninsula that comes out and it sort of droops. And the rule is, you can show a penis on British television, but if it is more erect than the vicinity of the Irish mole, you cannot show it. It's called the Mull of Kintyre rule.
I love that.
That's great.
Absolutely brilliant. Oh dear. Okay, round 6.
Yeah.
Two men, one mop, and a dream.
Right, that's porn, because that's based. Yeah, I'm going with. It's not like three men in a boat, is it?
I'm gonna go. Not porn.
It is a punchline.
Yeah,
Is it?
I've got them all right.
Apparently
so far.
so. Yeah.
What was it? 2 men.
One mop and a dream.
One mop and a dream. Yeah.
Sounds
So it's
like
a punchline.
TV
Wow.
program.
Yes.
Hey, all right, get this.
Home cleaning.
And he said, 2 men, 1 mop. And I forgot the last part of the joke, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
And a dream. And a dream.
And a dream.
And a dream.
And a dream. I tell you what, it's not a fucking killer punchline, is it? It's like a punch paragraph.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
A
Okay.
new form of joke, a punch paragraph.
Yeah. I've got one more for you then. Okay.
Yeah.
Colonel Sanders' secret sauce. Is it a punchline or a porn?
That's a porn.
Colonel Sanders' secret sauce. Oh, right. Okay. It's so set up to sound like a punchline, isn't it? But obviously, I'm going to point out the fact that this could be either or, which is that is the format of the game. So that's no help.
Is it? I'll let you know on this one.
I think it's a porn movie.
It's actually both.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was a sneaky one, Steve.
I like it. I like it.
It starts as a joke about greasy fingers and ends up on an adult DVD shelf next to Game of Bones.
Oh, Game of Bones.
Ah, yes.
I love it. One of my favorites is Shaving Ryan's Private.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I can go full circle here at 80 minutes 27. I remember a joke that we were all in back in the day, back in 1988. And it was, I don't know why this ended up being the punchline, but it was to do with Boy George and Guy Ritchie or something, and some porn movie. And our punchline was lick cock and 2 smoking bollocks. That I remember.
That's a great title.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, it was called lick cock and 2 smoking bollocks. I can't remember the context. The context was something along that, but it was just as that movie had come out.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant. Well, I'd like to say thank you very much, both of you, for joining us.
Pleasure.
It's been absolutely fantastic, and we've learned so much, and I wish we could carry on talking to you, to be honest. It's been amazing.
yeah, I'll probably just, if I do, I'll just let more cats out of the bag, and I'll be fucking have litigation on me.
Well, thank you ever so much, and yeah, take care.
You too. Thank you.
All your fears and darkest dreams, unsolved mystery.
What have you got for us this week?
So, imagine this. It's a warm August evening in London, 2010. The kind of heat that settles in oddly, makes everything just a little too quiet. In a small flat, just a short walk from the heart of British intelligence, something deeply strange is about to be discovered. The letting agents have been trying to reach the tenant for over a week. Gareth Williams, a quiet man, always punctual, never missed a payment, never late for work, and now completely vanished. They open the door. It's warm, very warm. The heating is cranked up unnaturally high, despite it being midsummer. There's no sound, no movement, nothing, until they reach the bathroom. In the bathtub sits a large red North Face hold-all bag, a duffel. It's zipped shut and secured with a padlock. Inside, curled up impossibly like a human jigsaw puzzle, is Gareth Williams, dead. But here's where it starts to get really weird. The bag is locked from the outside. There are no fingerprints on the padlock, none on the rim of the bathtub, none on the taps, none anywhere in the entire bathroom. Not even Gareth's own fingerprints. The flat has been cleaned immaculately. It's like a ghost committed the crime, or worse, someone very professional. Now, who was Gareth Williams? Not your average tenant.
Ooh, who was he?
So he was a code breaker, a GCHQ mathematician seconded to MI6, a bona fide spy, though the real quiet kind, not the shaken not stirred variety. Gareth was a genius with numbers, a man who could pull apart algorithms like most of us pull apart IKEA furniture, but he was also intensely private. He didn't have many close friends. He preferred cycling to the office over drinks at the pub. He'd been studying advanced mathematics since he was a teenager. In short, the kind of man you might not notice, but who may have known a great deal more than any of us should. So, who killed him? Let's walk through the suspects, shall we? First, suicide. The official narrative, bizarrely enough, flirts with the idea that Gareth somehow voluntarily got into the duffel bag, locked it from the outside, wiped the flat clean of fingerprints, and then died. Sounds plausible? Yeah, no.
No, we'll dismiss that one from the off.
From the off, before we even get to the others, we're not including that one. So experts tried to replicate it. Multiple people, escape artists, contortionists, even a naval seal couldn't do it without leaving a trace. Only one man managed to lock himself inside a test, but he left marks all over the tub. Gareth's flat, spotless. Second theory, a sexual game gone wrong. Here's where the tabloids had a field day. During their investigation, police found women's clothing in Gareth's size, wigs, shoes. Some described him as experimenting. Others said it was being held to embarrass him. The press painted lurid pictures, but his family, and more quietly his colleagues, called foul. There was no evidence of such activity. It felt like misdirection, or maybe just a convenient distraction. Then there was the pudding. Yes, pudding. At some point, Gareth had gotten into a heated argument at MI6. Not about encryption keys, not about top secret operations, but about apple pudding. Fair enough, to be honest, mate. Someone had stolen his from the communal fridge, and he did not let it go. An incredibly British office scandal playing out inside one of the most secretive agencies on Earth. But the truly disturbing theory? That Gareth Williams was murdered, assassinated, silenced. You see, Gareth wasn't just any code breaker. Rumours suggest he'd been working on a project tied to international cybercrime. There were whispers, never confirmed, that he'd penetrated systems tied to Russian organised crime, that he knew too much, that he'd seen something he shouldn't. Now picture this. A foreign agent slips into the flat, kills Gareth, puts him in a bag, cleans the flat top to bottom, turns up the heat to speed up decomposition, locks the door on the way out, leaves no trace. It's methodical, chilling, and very, very professional. The coroner called it unnatural and likely criminal, but no one was ever arrested. The official police stance later downgraded it to probably accidental. Right, sure. In the years since, MI6 has offered little. Gareth's family, devastated and frustrated, has accused the agency of obstruction. And Gareth remains a ghost in the machine. A man of numbers reduced to one, unsolved. No clear motive, no suspect, no fingerprints, just a locked red bag, a turned-up thermostat, and the quiet genius who never got to finish his work. And somewhere out there, someone still knows exactly what happened, but they're not talking.
I mean, why would they talk if you committed committed a murder or whatnot.
I think, yeah, I agree. But, I mean, this is such a weird one, isn't it? Because I feel like it's so obvious he didn't do it himself.
I do.
Which makes
It's
it
not
sound
suicide.
like-
I'm taking that off the table for a start.
It's not suicide, so it is definitely a murder. Is it the government that's telling the police to cover it up? Because obviously they've downgraded it to probably accidental, and I'm sorry, but you don't accidentally lock yourself in a suitcase after you've bleached everything. Well, not, however they they sterilise the flat. That's not an accident. That is like the most contrived thing in the world. So who did it?
And I think it's quite clever as well that because you're not having to drag a body about. You commit the murder and you're leaving the body there.
It is a really professional job, isn't it? Like, whoever has done it knows exactly what they're doing. This isn't someone who came round to rob him for the money under his mattress. This is someone who went there to get rid of him, to make as little mess as possible. They knew exactly how to clear up after themselves, and they knew how to, for instance, turn the heating up so that the body would decompose faster.
Yeah.
No mess, no fuss, no evidence. So who is important enough for the government to go, yeah, we can't have this actually getting pressed any further. This needs to be stopped. We need the police to announce that it's probably nothing crazy. And so, why would the government hush that shit up?
Got to be spies. That's all I can think of.
Spies. Do you reckon Russia was involved?
Perhaps. Why are we jumping to Russia?
Well, because it was mentioned it has been speculated that he might have known too much about. This is only speculation, but it was speculated that he might have been involved in code breaking, something Russian or something along those lines. Maybe he knew too much.
Perhaps he did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that would explain it, to be fair.
it would. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd definitely do it.
I think that one's an easy one to solve. Never mind Unsolved.
I think you're right. I think the mystery of it is the details, but we know for sure
it's
that
more
it
a
wasn't
question
a
of
bloody
who.
accident.
Yeah, who was it?
Yeah. Who,
but yeah,
not how. Yeah.
Fancy even suggesting it was an accident. Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna kill themselves for a start in that way, and somehow manage to destroy the evidence and go through the effort of wiping all their devices first?
Well, they tried to emulate it with contortionists and all sorts of different people and only one person was able to lock himself in the suitcase. However, he left a big old mess. He left fingerprints everywhere.
Anyway, what have we got next?
What time is it, Stu?
It's that time of the week again. It's that time of the week again. It's that time of the week again.
I don't know what time it is.
Word of the week. It's that time
Urban
of the
Dictionary
week
word of the
again. It's that time of the week again. It's that time of the week again. Urban Dictionary word of the week.
So yeah, what have we got this week as our word of the week?
Well, you tell me.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I ask you, don't I? Let me get this bit right. I ask you. Okay, I give you the word, you tell me what it means.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Ravenwing. Ravnwing. What does it mean?
See, oh, God. I mean, in real terms, it's a bird's wing, a raven bird's wing.
Okay.
But obviously, so I'm gonna wingman. Is it a play off wingman? Raven wing, raven. Oh, I don't know. But is it a play off of wingman somehow?
It's not, and it's nothing to do with the bird either. It is a person or thing that eats large amounts of babies and occasionally old ladies.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. I add that to your vocabulary.
No. No. Don't think I will, actually.
Okay, how about coming out the cabinet?
Well, I mean, is it like coming out of the closet?
Ooh,
Coming out of the...
you're close.
Out of the... Is it... But you're a posho. Oh, no! No, you're a politician.
That would make sense. No, actually, it's when a midget admits that he or she is gay. Coming out the cabinet.
Yay! Yeah, I'll add that one to my vocabulary.
Okay, that's useful to have. Okay, how about bull style?
Oh. Okay. The first thing you think of is either a bucking bronco scenario or
Ooh,
the what are they called when they hold the flag up?
hold the
But
flag
judging
up.
by your reaction, you know you know when they go in the ring with the bull and they have like a big red cloth.
Oh yeah, bullfighting.
What's it called? Yeah, that. What? But judging by your reaction, I'm going to go with the first one. It is Urban Dictionary word of the week, and these were submitted by Andy. So I'm going with something that is in relation to bull riding.
A sexual position where the female rides the male, but wraps around her legs. Yeah, that's written terribly. But wraps her legs around him, and then saying something that makes the male mad, causing him to push off the female. And how long can you stay on for?
So what does she say? Is it in or? I thought you said you were 6 foot. Or I thought you said you were 6'2". I didn't realise they were two separate measurements.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
you're tight,
I'm
aren't
sorry.
you?
Thank you.
Oh dear.
Sorry. God, I'm full of it.
You are.
I am. Right. Okay. Is that all our Urban Dictionaries?
Yeah, I think that's enough for this week.
I think it needs to be, doesn't it? I think we need to move on. We need to move on. Where are we now then?
Where are we now? Let's do this.
It's the meme of the week.
Meme of the week.
Meme of the week. So unique. It's the meme of the week. Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
Meme of the week.
Obviously, a professional person would know who won last week. I'm just finding that out now for you. All right.
We've had a busy one this episode.
We've had.
having a
It's
guest on.
It's been a bit. 2 guests though.
Two
It was
guests,
a
even
2
better.
for.
Yeah, two
Yeah,
for one.
it was a 2 for 1. Which is quite impressive for us. We normally only can take one at a time, can't we, Steve? We're just. Oh, God. Should we have a drum roll, or do you not know which hotkey that is?
I took it off. We've got.
What? You didn't leave any drum rolls?
Oh, hang on. Yeah.
There we go. I've beat you again, Steve. I'm afraid to tell you.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
Oh, you know what I need? I've got an empty hotkey. You know, wah wah wah.
Oh, well, I tell you what. Yeah, we do need some sad trumpets, don't we? I love wah wah wah. It's funny. Anyway. So what have you got for us this week, Steve? I'm not going to beat you this week. I can tell you that.
I think you will. I think I've gone safe this week. So this week is some construction workers stood at the side of the road.
Yeah.
A couple got hard hats on. For some reason, one's got a flat cap on, but you know what? We'll go with it. But they got the high vis on. You got the roadworks going on, and they're saying, "Oh, you see those vehicles taking an alternative route over there? We need to start some roadworks over there too." It's always the case, isn't it? Especially when you're in a rush. Yeah, and they're just digging up the roads everywhere. You're thinking, why? Why dig up all roads at the same time?
And why is it the scene that you see before you in that picture of 3 men standing there, hands in pockets, and one's pointing? Why is that all they ever seem to be doing?
That That is, you only ever see one person working.
Well, if you're
workers.
lucky, you see that anyway.
Yeah, or there's no one around.
Or there's nobody there. But if there are people on site, guaranteed there's a group of them and one of them's pointing at something.
Yeah.
They're not actually doing anything. Okay. So I better counter this with something. I really wasn't sure what to go for this week. And in the end, I went with the one that appealed to me the most. I'm looking at it now. I'm not going to lie. I did actually cry a little bit laughing at this because it's just my humour, right? So it's a picture of, I don't know if someone's unclogged a drain or if they've accidentally stuck their hand in a like a bowl of stew or something,
Okay.
but their hand's covered in gooey muck and they've got a couple of grains of sweet corn in their hands, right? And
I'm not looking at that again. I've looked at it now, and that is enough.
And the caption is, when you turn on the light and you realise you have been fisting the wrong hole.
No, I'm done.
Elsie,
I'm done.
It's the little nuggets of sweet corn that do. Oh my God, Topicopedia online. Scroll down on the homepage. Vote for your favourite meme of the week. Let us know. I think most people are normal, and I do appreciate this, but I don't think most people are going to align with me on my choice of meme. But I'm going to stand by it. It's very on brand for Nicole.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Okay. Better turn this around, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, this week I went to a contest for the biggest ocean wave.
Wow.
Yeah, the results were tied.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. A man on the side of the road offered to sell me 4 jars of pickles for $3.
Wow, that's very good.
Well, yeah, I thought so. I was a bit sceptical at first, but it ended up being a great deal.
Oh. Okay. They get better, right?
Hopefully.
Okay.
My girlfriend's kink was dressing up as a banana and doing slow erotic strip shows for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I found it very appealing.
Oh, God, they're not getting better.
Okay, try this one. So mate was welding the other day, and he took his face mask off to admire his craftsmanship. A little too early, obviously, because a piece of metal flew into his eye, and he complained he couldn't see. So we packed him off down to the hospital, and after an X-ray, and he had a scan on the eye and everything, and the doctor comes and says, "Oh, you have creepy teacher syndrome." And he goes, "Oh, creepy teacher syndrome." And the doctor says, "Yeah, you fucked one of your pupils."
Oh no! Oh, that's bad, isn't it? Okay. Okay. So, how do you make a bull sweat?
Oh, I don't know.
Give him a tight jersey. I knew you'd like that one. Okay, how about in a survey carried out on men, it was found that 19% liked a woman with chubby legs, 27% like slender legs, and the rest like something in between. Yeah, I knew that was a Steve joke. This is my personal favourite. What do you call a prostitute with a runny nose?
No idea.
Full. She's full. Oh, God. Okay, here we go. It's a bit of a longer one to finish off on. So when King Arthur rode off in search of the Holy Grail, he didn't trust the motley crew court he left behind, so he devised an ingenious chastity belt for the Queen Guinevere. It contained a little guillotine. So when he came back a year later, he commanded the courtiers to drop their dacks, and sure enough, there was hardly a dick in sight. They'd all been cut off, except for Lancelot's. You're the only one to remain loyal, said the king to Sir Lancelot. What will we do with these traitors, these blackguards? What will their punishment be? Speak up, Sir Lancelot, or have you lost your tongue? And on that note, I think we'll leave it there for this week. Thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of Topicopedia. We've actually decided, because we had such a very long and really, really interesting chat with Les and Jem about the world of television, lots and lots of inside info there, really fascinating stuff, and not all of it made it to the episode. So we are going to put the full discussion as a separate episode. So please don't forget to check that out. And please, please, please go and check out Bill Bricks. These guys put in so much work to it, and it really is very, very funny, absolutely brilliant. As always, head over to topicopedia.online where you can vote for your favourite meme of the week. You can also fill out our sexy feedback form, give us your feedback, and hopefully we'll read it out for you next week. Also, don't forget, you can find us on any of our socials, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.